Hey everybody, I want to share something exciting with you today, and it's one of these lessons in really knowing what plants are on your property. But you really can't start there. You've got to start with knowing how to identify plants, or at least have enough sense for the kind of plants that you might need to keep an eye out for, so that when something catches your eyes, you can go to somebody with a little more experience and say, hey, is this what I think it is? So, much to my surprise, on the driveway that I go up and down at least twice a day, I have found 3 things that I had no clue were on my property until just a couple days ago when I came out here to do some bush hogging and take care of some really grown-up things. So first we're going to start with this. You probably can't recognize it too well because it doesn't look like it got very pollinated, but this is elderberry. Elderberry is something many of you are familiar with. I know over in the homesteading groups on Facebook and things, usually around fall time, we start getting all these questions when all these purple berries start showing up, and people want to know, is it elderberry, is it pokeberry, is it beautyberry, and so forth. Elderberry is the more prized thing because of the different medicinal purposes that it has, and of course for elderberry jam. So this is treasure number 1, elderberry. Now, the interesting thing about this is the 3 things I'm going to show you are all right here. Spitting distance. You could take a watermelon seed and spit from one to another. And all 3 of them are something we've really wanted on the property, and nature's providing it for us. So now my lovely wife is just going to follow me over here, and we're going to talk about the next thing. Now this is sumac. And before I have to answer too many questions, people, sumac does not mean poison sumac. People say poison sumac, poison ivy, poison oak because they are varieties of those species that have poisonous attributes. Not because all sumacs are poisonous, nor like are all oaks poisonous or all ivies are poisonous. This sumac goes by several different names. I've heard it called smooth sumac. I've heard it called dwarf sumac. I've heard it called wing sumac. But the whole point behind this is that these berries are very medicinal. These flowers are going to blossom and then eventually turn into nice little red seed berries. And those you can use inside of a tea. Makes a wonderful pink lemonade flavored tea that is just rich with vitamins. And it's the perfect thing for Mother Nature to provide us right as we start to go into the late fall and winter season. A drink to help fortify our bodies and make us ready for those long winter months and give our immune system a real big boost. So sumac, a lot of people up north might say that this is staghorn sumac. This is not staghorn. Staghorn's more popular up in the colder climates. Here in Mississippi, in our part, smooth sumac is the more popular variety. This is not poison sumac, and poison sumac is very easy to identify compared to edible sumacs. I'm not going to go into the details here. What I will tell you is don't Google it. It's wrong. There is so much misinformation out there about what is poison sumac, what is not poison sumac, and the reason I'm not going to go into it is because I don't have poison sumac on the property, so I can't give you a visual reference, and it seems to me that words just aren't going to do the measure when it comes to sumac. So sumac is number 2. Number 3 is right here behind sumac. And now this one really surprised me because it was actually this little berry right here that caught my attention. If you live any place where they grow, then that little immature fruit might catch your attention. That is a persimmon fruit, and it's the only one that I've seen anywhere on this tree. This tree is almost in complete shade. There's maybe 1 hour in the day that it gets a little bit of light. Otherwise, it's completely shaded with overstory pine trees above it. But here it is. This is a wild native persimmon, and now that we know that it's here, we know to take care of it. So we're going to come into this area and not completely remove all the trees from around it. Every time I've seen persimmon, it does want to be in a shaded area. But this one's got too much shade, and more importantly, it does have a pine tree growing right up against it, so it's got no room for it to grow properly. So before damage is caused by the trees rubbing up against each other, we're going to make a little space around this guy, and maybe we'll have some wild persimmons next season, something a little more than that. This tree, like I said, the berry here caught my attention, and I took this information, I took pictures of the bark, the leaves, and the berry, and everything else, and went to a person that I respect here locally. Her name's Gail. She's a master gardener and has been doing plant identification, sorry Gail, but probably as long as I've been alive, and she was able to confirm for me that this is indeed wild persimmon, which really just made Jennifer and I kind of giggle inside. So here we are, watermelon spitting distance, 3 different plants that are all wild edibles or medicinals or both, and we're really excited about it. So I'm interested to hear from you. Tell me your stories down below. What have you found new on your property this year? These are 3 new things that we either wanted on the property or even specifically tried to cultivate. That sumac over there, I specifically went and harvested some roots from a sumac to try and do root propagation, and none of them took. So I'm excited to see that here it is on the property, old and mature enough to start producing the flower heads, and we can make use out of it. So tell me your story. Tell me, what have you found on your property? What is it that, who's your go-to source? Who do you go to for these kind of identifications? Share your story below, and if there's something that really stands out, maybe I'll bring it onto the video at our next Q&A. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.